Hey everybody, I am Scotty J. Welcome back to Rock Titan Live. We got a very cool guest with us today. We have a lot of synergies, although he is a much more talented musician than myself. But we know a lot of the same people. We walk in the same circles. But this guy, he has a brand new album coming out on September 23rd. First one that's been out in actually, I guess, like 6 years, but it's called Chasing Light. And he made himself famous, really. I mean, he got a lot of attention from doing a couple of covers, one of which was George Michael, most famous, Faith. That was a big one. But another thing that he did was with a guy we've had on this show for a long. I mean, we've covered him like 4 or 5 times. If everyone goes out, Wes Scantlin, Puddle of Mud, we've had him on a bunch of times. He's a good friend of ours, and this guy did a cover of Blurry. Very different though. But anyway, everybody, we got Tommy Marz with us. Tommy, how you doing, man?
Yo, good. You say we were talking earlier, and you're like, hey, you just do this. You sound so professional. It's like we're talking, and you're like, hey, it's Scotty. Where I'm just like, but it's Tommy Marz. You're so good. You're so professional, man. I love it.
Tommy, coming from you, man. Thank you. You just made my day, man. You made
Oh,
my day.
nice.
But
Thanks.
but yeah, your music, awesome stuff, man. I'm going back through all your videos, and I didn't know that you had done Blurry with Wes Scant or what? Not with Wes Scantlin, but a cover of Blurry rather, and because I'd seen the one that you just put out, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel.
Yeah,
Awesome. I mean that was great, but you
appreciate it.
stayed true to the original. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking, all right. So Tom, and then of course he did Faith, which that was huge. George Michael himself retweeted it, and
yeah. That's kind of where it all started. Was really that. To be honest with you, it was one of those things where when he tweeted it out, because I have a little bit of fan base, whatever, and
right.
I say that loosely, but I mean, they're really supportive. But then it was like an overnight thing, and all of a sudden it was just one of those things where it's like 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? I didn't even know he did it until somebody told me, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. So yeah,
That's funny. Well, it's the same thing. Like when I'll put out a particular podcast episode, and I have the Rock Titan fan base and whatnot. But when I see things like really going off, on a level that I'm not used to, it's like, all right, who shared this?
yeah,
Clearly someone with a bigger following than me. But so
right.
so when you did Faith and you found out that George Michael himself shared that video, what did that feel like, man?
Well, the thing is, it's because I'm a rock. I love rock music, and with the Tommy Mars band stuff, it's like all rock. That's 24/7. Yeah,
Right.
like influence wise. I mean, I am a grunge kid, man. I love Alice in Chains, STP, Pearl Jam, all that stuff. But I have a very 80s side, So when people actually, it's weird. I don't think of the Police being 80s music, so I guess I should get that way. Police are it for me. It's like Mountaintop, but um,
Really? Wow. I love Sting
oh
myself. I love Sting.
yeah, huge fan. But Duran Duran, George Michael, all that. I love that stuff. So for me, it was. I guess it always feels like validation or something. It feels like okay, so he liked it enough to tweet it out to his followers because now even if he made fun of it, and there's always that risk where they're like, okay, this was the worst thing I've ever heard. But it wasn't like that. It was warm, and I actually don't even have it. The technology we have today with screenshots and everything. This was so long ago. I mean, I don't even know if I had an iPhone back, honestly. Anyway,
That's
it
funny.
was really warm and nice, and I was just like, okay, that made me feel really good. But then all of a sudden, the followers just started kind of blowing up, and I was like, I feel like I got to put something out here, and I did. And then all of a sudden, I got a couple, placements and on TV shows like the Carson Daly. His show used a couple different
Yeah.
songs, and
Yeah.
and then like MTV asked me to do a couple things for what stingers are. Those are the things that you come in and out of
Right.
shows with.
Right.
Yeah. So he asked me to do a couple of those, and it just kind of took off from there. And then I was like, oh okay, so this is kind of happening. So,
That's
you know,
awesome. Well, you used the word validation, and I think that's a perfect word for it. I mean, it had to feel very validating for you. And actually, I was going to ask you this later on, in our conversation, but I might as well ask you now, just because when I heard Faith, obviously, and I heard Blurry and Stuck in the Middle with You, I heard Stuck in the Middle with You and Faith before I heard Blurry, so I'm thinking, all right, Tommy
okay.
likes to stay true to the covers. He likes to stay
Hmm.
true to to the arrangement, the way the song was originally produced. But then you come out with Blurry by Puddle of Mud, and you did it completely different. And we talked a little bit before we formally got going here. You did that with PM Dawn, and you decided to really do this in a different way.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I guess with Stuck in the Middle, I wanted to stay close because I'm such a huge fan of Jerry Rafferty and Steelers Wheel, but in Stuck you can hear I made it more of a rock song. So I was trying to make it like a T-Rex meets Andy Taylor when he was in the Power Station.
Okay.
That's the dream I had, and so I tried to make it like that, but kind of stick with the acoustic guitar and that I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, I didn't go full Bob Dylan, but I was trying to do, I mean, I didn't plug my nose or anything, try to,
Right.
But anyway, that was awful. Okay. So,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So with Blurry, it was one of those things I'm friends with, the guys from PM Dawn, and about 10, 15 years ago, they were on an NBC show. I think it was called Hit Me One More Time or Baby Hit Me One More Time.
Okay.
And they won. And so they brought back all of these artists kind of from the 90s, and they were legends in the 90s. I mean, a lot of people, I think they've forgotten how big PM Dawn was. They were everywhere. They were stadium. They were playing these huge, it wasn't clubs. They were playing huge places. And so anyway, we're friends. So I just always loved their version of it that they did on TV. And they won the whole series with that song with Puddle of Mud Blurry. And I'm a huge West fan. I'm a huge Puddle of Mud fan. Like every single song, every album. Like I just love those guys. So I reached out and I was like, hey, I'm going to do this cover, but I'm going to do it a little different. So Doc Giggs was like, well, what are we talking about? I was like, I kind of want to do it like a PM Dawn song. He's like, really? And I was like, hey, so I want to do this. I want to use kind of a PM Dawn beat. I'm going to put acoustic guitars. And he's like, I'm in. Like, I'll do it. And so I was like, can you do like the kind of the spoken word over what I call like the bridge part, And it's a little different for me to have a beat and have bass because I put like some bass drops and stuff in there. And it kind of just, same thing. It just got out there. And I think it was different enough where I'm sure some people were like, this is shite. And I get that. I actually do understand that. But there were some people that were like, okay, this is different, but I kind of like the different. So I told Wes,
Sure.
I had Wes on my show. Cool. I told him that we had done it. And he was like really receptive and really positive about it. And I was kind of sort of happy about it because you never want to piss off the original person, So that was kind of fun. Yeah. That's where it happened. That's how it kind of went down.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So everybody, like Tommy just said, he also has his own podcast. So go out to YouTube and just search Tommy Marz. He's like the only one out there. You'll see his podcast and his official music videos with the Tommy Marz band that he has out there. He's got some really cool stuff. But yeah, it's funny because when I saw that you were doing Blurry, I'm like, oh man, I got some competition here, man. Because I did some carpool karaoke to that song with Wes in the car. I'm like, all right, man. Not that I can hold a candle to you, but I'm just thinking, little friendly competition. What we got here? But you blow me out of the water no matter what.
Yeah, right. But you know where I'm going right after this, right? I'm going to find that episode. I have to go watch this now. So
go check it out. Done. It's fun. Yeah. It is good. So, and you'll find all you got to do is search Rock Titan, Puddle of Mud, Wes Scantlin, Blurry.
Sweet.
Yeah, you'll see it.
I'm excited.
But I definitely want to talk about Chasing Light, because that's coming out the 23rd, and we know that it's an EP. It's not a full LP. But I want to talk about some other things you did too, because you just said Summer Bummer. I know you just put out that music video, and obviously this past summer has been a bummer.
Yeah.
But it was funny when you first started playing. I'm like, oh man, am I going to hear like the Bee Gees here? It had like that. You know what I'm talking about, too.
Yeah. Electric piano,
I'm going to get, like, some Brothers Gibb out of Tommy here, like, how deep is your love? And
yeah.
That's where I thought you were going. But that was really, really cool. So, for you, was the inspiration for that really just the fact that we've been quarantined, like, all summer? And
you know what's crazy? Okay, so that is actually one of the songs that was done last summer. So that song has been finished. Yeah, it's been finished. And actually it was mastered and everything last year. But then the quick of it is I've been doing this. I decided to, I just actually watched The Matrix. So I decided to free my mind. And I said, I'm going to go down a path of music that I don't generally listen to. Red pill, blue pill. I'm like, take the blue pill and shove it up. Anyway, so actually, you know what? Have you watched The Matrix lately? I know this is totally off topic.
Not recently, but I have a photographic memory. So, like, I know 1, 2, 3, like that. They should have
Well,
stopped after one, but that's just my
yeah,
opinion.
totally agree. I totally agree. And the thing was, I just watched it. You know what? It holds up so well that I don't know that any of these superhero movies, even from 15 years ago, because now when you watch those superhero movies from in 2005, it's like, oof, the flames look bad. The Matrix still looks darn good. Like,
Oh yeah.
almost today's standards good. They did an incredible job on that movie. Anyway, so
You and I could digress all day long, Tommy. I can already tell. Because it's like you talk about the Matrix. I love Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne in that because then, of course, they reunite in John Wick, which was a totally different relationship, and I'm just like, yes.
Yes.
But anyway.
I know. You know what? I seriously, we should do a whole different episode.
We gotta have like a different podcast. Movies. Yeah, totally different podcast.
John Wick movies.
We gotta do that. We gotta do that.
But I do love that though. Yeah, I love how they reunited in John Wick. I mean, it was one of those geeky things where I was in the theater like yes.
Right? I know.
Like, that just happened.
I know.
People are probably watching this like, God, this guy. Anyway.
Summer Bummer, man. Back to Summer Bummer.
Summer Bummer.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was going down this rabbit hole of Harry Styles. Okay, so I was zero familiar with him at all. Like, don't know. I knew Watermelon Sugar. Okay, so I was like, I didn't listen to One Direction. I'm just being honest. So I saw he did a cover of Sledgehammer, which again, now you're talking. You're talking about Peter Gabriel. You're talking about one of the best records mixed of all time. Kevin Killen was the mixing engineer. One of my favorite ears ever. Right. And anyway, so I watched it. And you know what I decided to do? This is just not my nature. I put on my phone and I recorded me watching it. One of these guys.
Okay.
I actually had a blast. And I couldn't believe, you know what started happening? The thing was, I didn't watch it and go, oh, yeah, sick. No, I'm watching it going, okay, so that snare drum, I love the way it's tuned. So I'm pausing it going, wait. That bass run he did. So I'm spending the whole time talking about the production side of it, the mixing side of it. Right. And these people got a kick out of it. They love that side of it. And they were sending me a message, can you do this song that he did like that? So I was like, okay. Well, the next thing you know, I'm listening to the whole first record and going, I cannot lie to you. This is amazing. Actually, have you heard his first record? And I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to sell you on this thing.
Yeah, no.
It's sick. It's so good because I expected a pop record. There's Pink Floyd. There's Fleetwood Mac. There's these references and inspirations that I just didn't see coming. The harmonies in this song called Ever Since New York, I almost want to say it's that good. So The reason I'm telling you this, because I'm going through the record and I'm loving it, like crazy loving it. There's rock songs too. Go listen to Kiwi and Only Angel. I'm not even kidding you.
All right. Well, I'm glad I have this recorded so I can go back and check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I mean, Kiwi almost touches like Jack White kind of stuff. Anyway, so I'm listening to it and I got really inspired. So I was like, okay, I hate to do this when a song's finished, man. It's like a relationship. If you break up, I don't look back. Don't text me, don't call me, just we're done. So anyway, I hated to do it, but I pulled the tracks up and I was like, I got to redo this song. I got to redo it because it was good, but I know it can be better because I had this inspiration. So I started re-recording parts and I started rewriting words and all these things. So this long-winded Matrix Larry Fishburne answer is the song has already been done, but now it actually kind of came with this new meaning of, wow, this is the summer of Bummer. And that's why the video it's all people, what they've been doing this quarantine summer. So instead of making this, like I want to be artsy. I want to be in a coffee shop, and she's walking out and I want to look all depressed and, just itching. I was like, let's make this a cool video. So I put it out there and I said, okay, fans, whatever you want to call yourselves, which is another funny thing. They're asking me what they should call themselves. I'm like, what does that mean? Your fan base, everybody, people have a name for their fan base. I'm like,
groupies.
Well, I'm not going to name it. Yeah, groupies or something, but I'm like, I'm not going to name it. So I got there's the Tommies, the Tom Toms, the Goldies, all this stuff. So somebody says the Martians with a Z. I'm like, dude, that rules.
That's not
so
bad.
Then somebody else, that's the winner, right? But then somebody says, I'm sure the Tom Taraj will come up with something cool. And I was like, the Tom Taraj. I was like, you guys are awesome. Like, you guys rule. I can't believe it. Anyway, so that whole thing started, and I was like, you know what? All right, fine. Whatever we're going to call ourselves, can you guys send me your best 10-second clips or best pictures from this summer? And, so I went to the email box a couple weeks later. I set up a special one, summerbummerproject@gmail. Dude, and I don't know if I got the number, but I think it was 568 emails. And I was like,
wow.
Oh my gosh. And then, so I spent a couple of weeks, I went through it, and that's the video that's out there. So it's basically, this is what I've been doing for the first 30 seconds. Here's what you've been doing. And I think it's awesome. It actually makes me smile that people are sending so many nice messages saying, thank you for including me. This made my summer, or I've been having a tough time, or I had a couple people that are kind of like battling cancer, and they said it's been so uplifting. And I was just like, no, like tear in my eye. That's like, was no BS, man. I was like, if they could have saw me like reading the messages, I was like, oh my gosh, like I could cry right now. It was insane.
No, man, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, it takes a lot to inspire people like that. That's not something that everybody can do. But man, you're like a cult leader, man. You got like the Martians and the Tom Tourage, you know? Like that's
Oh
like
my
real
God.
cult leader stuff. No, I'm just teasing. But no, that's very cool. Yeah, Tommy, one of the things I think that's very cool about you, and it's very unique, is that you play so many different instruments. You know, so now I'm going back to Steelers Wheel, stuck in the middle with you. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I'm watching the video, all right? And, you know, you're singing, you're playing acoustic guitar, you're playing the bass, and you're playing the electric guitar. And I was actually planning when I was going to talk to you, I was going to bust your stones because you played so many different instruments. I'm like, but you didn't do the clapping, you know? And then all of a sudden at the very end, there's Tommy clapping, you know? And he even busts
Yeah.
out the tambourine. And I'm like, Jesus, man, this guy's got all his bases covered.
Nice.
How many instruments do you play?
Oh man, I guess all those, and then so on summer. Okay, I'm a hack piano player, but I bought one. It's actually behind me,
Okay.
and I bought one of these things, and it has a different. It has piano,
Nice.
electric piano, and I guess you could put that on there. I think I could do the kazoo. I don't know. I'd
Well,
like to try.
so I guess yeah. Well, Steve Tyler busts that thing out, I think.
Oh, that's
So
right.
that's legit. That's
That's
legit.
legit.
You
I don't
know.
know. I guess so. Okay, drums is really my first love. So I would say if
Okay.
somebody asked me, "What are you?" I'm a drummer.
Okay.
So when I grew up in the city of Detroit, I went to Detroit Public Schools. I was on the drum line. I was first chair. I had a knack for like. Do you play drums at all or?
No, I play guitar and I play ukulele.
Oh, now there's something I actually want to get. I'd like to get one. I've been in this Grace Vanderwall mode too. I want to get a ukulele just to sit there and like. I want to go on my patio and just do like Hawaiian. I know it'll be the worst thing, but I kind of want to do it. Anyway, so with the drums, you got to have good wrists. And the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
you can teach yourself how to do it, but I think timing and rhythm, I think it's innate. I almost feel like you have that or you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And with drums, just early on, I picked it up really early, and so it's just one of those things where I was drummers in rock bands. Like when I was in high school, man, I was in this. Just we were playing like everything from Kill 'Em All, Seek and Destroy,
Oh wow.
all that stuff, we're just jamming all that and
Right on.
pulling teeth and all that kind of stuff. So, but I just started, I was always playing guitar since I was like a kid. My dad, it's weird. My dad was 60s in the 60s. Everybody was like trying to be in a band, so he actually cut a record with like pretty much everybody's dad did back then. So I guess I always had it.
My
in
dad
my-
did not cut a record, Tommy.
Oh, he didn't.
He did not cut a record, but
Oh,
he did have a guitar. He has a vintage Fender Jaguar that he bought in New York City, and as he was walking out of the store when he bought it, none other than Art Garfunkel was walking into the store, and he literally bumps into him on his way out. So that's just a little side thing.
okay,
And
that's way cooler than my dad.
he's got a yeah, but no, but he never made an album. He never made an album. But he was a
Wow.
product of the '60s. He went to
Yeah.
Woodstock. He went to the Woodstock.
Right.
He saw the Beatles when they first came to New York City for the very first time ever. So I get you.
Oh.
My dad's not. He's not the musician that your dad is. But I'm with you.
That's insane. Really bumped into art, huh?
Right?
Yeah, that's yeah. So it's over, right? Interview over. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm
all right.
just
So
saying-
everybody, right now, if you haven't noticed by now, I've always said that I'm like, the podcaster with ADHD. I never thought I would find a kindred spirit and a guest where we both
Dude.
have ADHD. So we are just all over the map. But
I know, and I feel bad for everybody. I'm so sorry if this sucks, man. I apologize. It's the thing is because you have a great show. I have a show where I have artists on, and the thing is, I'm supposed to. You know how the PR is.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about the single. Let's talk about, and that's great because hey, we're artists. I love to do it too. But sometimes I just want to talk about So that night in the studio, when you made this certain noise on the record, we'll go a half an hour talking about that one thing. Like I had Joe Satriani, okay, and we did a yeah. So I had him on for for his shape shifting record that just came out, which is awesome. So we got talking, and it's like I don't know, an hour and a half later, and I was like, Joe, we should do a show on just flying in a blue dream because that's to me that's like opus. That's And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's in a couple of weeks, let's like, call me and we'll whatever. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So get him back on the phone. We're talking about Flying in a Blue Dream, and there's the noise at the beginning of the first song, the title track. If you listen to the thing, I mean, I think I condensed it down to 10 minutes, but that may have been a 25-minute explanation just to make it audible for everybody, or listenable, just to hear the explanation of how that child's voice got into that. See, for me, that was goosebumps the whole time, and I don't know, that may be my favorite thing. That almost might be one of my favorite things ever.
Satch is the man. I love Time Machine. Time Machine that's my be all end all. But yeah, no, I mean I love everything he's ever done. And I used to think that he was the greatest, like guitar virtuoso, that ever lived. But then, we start having other guests on the show. A good friend of mine, Vinnie Moore, Vinnie Moore is absolutely freaking amazing. And Michelangelo Badio, we've had him on. So I mean, these are just guys that are just absolutely right in that Satriani world, man. Mm-hmm. But good on you. That's a huge get, man. That had to have been an awesome conversation. I'll have to go check that out. I never saw that. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, couldn't be nicer. And the thing is, I've been lucky with the guitar thing because I know the question's buried way back there, and I don't remember what it is. But the guitar thing is, I try to get, I will, if a record label or somebody says, hey, can we have them on the show? I'm like, of course, I big, small, I just want to talk about music. But I do have a bucket list. I have a list. I'm actually weird enough. Actually, I feel like you are too. I have a list written down of the people that I want to speak to before this whole thing's over, right? Oh, and I've been checking them off slowly and stuff. So drummer-wise, for me, it was always Stuart Copeland. I mentioned Police. So now, like the weird thing is, we've talked so much and a bunch of different times that kind of on a first name basis, which is the little 8-year-old Tommy, like seriously has a heart attack because I'm like, I can't believe this because Synchronicity for me was like, it was one of those records I felt, growing up in poverty in the city of Detroit, being really poor, food stamps, that whole thing, a lot of times we didn't have, like electricity and stuff, but when we did, it was like Synchronicity and Duran Duran Rio. Like those two records just got, and for me to like have these conversations and actually we almost got into an argument. This is so off topic. We got into an argument. Believe it, this was like third time I ever talked to him. And the whole thing was, I'm like, Synchronicity it has to be number one, but Zenyatta I think is number 2. And he's like, yeah, it's number 5 on my list. I'm like, wait, I know you hate it because the experience was bad, but it's awesome, Stuart. And he's just like, no, it's the worst. I'm like, so we got into this debate about, okay, the experience sucked, but you can't tell me When the World Is Running Down is one of the greatest songs ever. Don't Stand So Close to Me, During the Tears, And so by the end of it, he's like, okay, the songs are good, but I hated the experience, so it's like it was this thing. But then after it was done, I was in the moment and I was like, holy crap. I was just kind of arguing with Stuart Copeland about his own record. I was like, what the hell is wrong with me, But I couldn't help it.
That's cool. Well, hey, man, that's the real deal. Well, again, at the very beginning of our conversation, you used the word validation. And it's just one of those validating things, I mean, you're all of a sudden, instead of being like all fanboy and whatnot, here you are, you're talking to him peer to peer, musician to musician, drummer to drummer, so I think that's very cool. But are there any other particular drummers like on your bucket list? Because I've talked to some pretty amazing drummers that I'd be happy to hook you up with. Ooh. You know what though? I don't want to bore everyone, the audience, because they all know who we've talked to. But I'll have to catch up with you online because we've had like Corky Lang from Mountain, Carmine Peace from Vanilla Fudge, Cactus. Oh. Yeah, man. Yes. And oh God, I mean,
he's actually on my list because one of his, I would say, protege, Veronica Bellino. I had her on the show, and she's been with so many great, like Oriente. She's played on her record. She's played with DMC. She's played. Who got her really going? Was Jeff Beck. Jeff
Oh,
Beck
right
reached
on.
out and was like, "Hey, I want you to play on my record, like, or on my
Yep.
tour."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Carmine is definitely on my radar because, or not even radar, my bucket list because he's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Albert Bouchard, from Blue Oyster
Yeah.
Cult, So
Yes.
we'll catch up
Nice.
offline.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
I'm not a name dropper, people. I'm not a
Yeah.
name dropper. You know this, but actually, sometimes I get a little out of control. But dude, we got to get back to Chasing Light. We got to
All
get
right.
back
Let's
to
do it.
Chasing Light. So okay, so we were just talking. we we were talking about Stuck in the Middle with You, where you played like all the
Oh.
instruments. All
Yeah.
right, and so I'm just curious because now Chasing Light coming out September 23rd. Everybody, September 23rd. Chasing Light, Tommy Marz. Um, is this the Tommy Marz band, or is this you solo, where you're the one actually playing all the instruments on this EP?
Yeah. So this is a solo thing because
Okay.
the Tommy Mars band stuff is rock, and I love it to be rock.
Okay.
And this is not like I'm not announcing anything, but I've been working on a very much of a, I would say, an acoustic rock, probably like an EP for the Tommy Mars band to come back and do something there because all the stuff up until then has been, electric guitars. It's been just like bringing Alpha, the first album we did. It's pretty hard. I mean, I like you listen to One Big Rush or Born to Follow or something. Those are pretty hard songs, and so I want to keep the Tommy Mars band that type of thing.
Okay.
So I've been working on an acoustic rock. I would say like Days of the Newish, very hard.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and actually it's pretty much finished. But this is like a singer-songwriter because I've always had that pop side, that singer-songwriter side. So I wouldn't want to do that to that name. So I just keep it Tommy Mars, and this is where I
Okay.
do stuff like the Blurry cover. I do
Okay. All right.
these type of songs. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
No, I'm
It's
just
okay.
curious. What made you go EP versus LP?
Oh man, this is gonna sound so bad.
Everyone has their reasons.
Okay, so I actually it's a full. I have a full. I have a I have a full length ready to go on it. Okay,
Okay.
half of the songs are just summer. So Chasing Light is like there's actually a song on this EP that is the name of the title. And I was flying to Vegas and going west. So I'm in Detroit and I'm flying west. And I wasn't exactly the sun wasn't up the whole time, but I felt like I was chasing the sun the whole time. And that's been done a million times. So I was like, I felt like I was chasing light. So the sun just wouldn't. I couldn't get away. It couldn't get away from us in the airplane. Eventually did. So I get to Vegas, and it's just one of those. The whole song is just about. It's really just a night in Vegas and going there and just. I'm going to do what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna take the red eye home. And then, fortunately, I was able to come back in good shape. And so it's about that. But anyway,
Okay.
the thing is, the other I would say other six songs are very cold sounding. They're very cold. They just have a very cold feel. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put Chasing Light, which is a summer record. Eventually, I'm gonna put out the other one, which I don't know what I'm gonna call it. The second reason is because and this is so bad, and I apologize to bands. I love full albums. We grew up on full albums, man. We grew up on full LPs and stuff. But when you get sent a record, it's so bad. Man, when that thing is 15 tracks, I'm like, yeah, oh man. But when somebody sends me a 5-song EP, I'm like, woohoo! I'm gonna get through
Yeah.
this in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know
I
it
do.
sounds so crappy.
I do reviews all the time, and I'm gonna review yours, man. And
Oh, please be gentle. Oh,
you know what? I'm not one of those guys that's like a total jerk. I try to put a positive spin on everything while being nice. And I kind of
appreciate you.
live by the mantra when it comes to reviews, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah,
Because there's plenty of outlets out there and blogs and websites and stuff, various publications that have no problem, shredding
yeah,
an album and just killing it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's not my style. Like I'll
We're still the same, dude.
you
We're
know
still the same.
and
Why
if I
do that to somebody?
and if I do listen to something and I genuinely don't like it, I will tell whoever the person is that sent it to me. I'll be like, I can't, I just can't, don't take it the
Yeah,
wrong way, but I just can't, because I don't want to put out something negative, but I can't say anything positive about this. Sorry, but
yeah.
I gotta say, I haven't had that happen to me a whole lot. I really haven't. Um, you know, I'm not in the business of bashing people, so I'm not going to necessarily bash anyone. I'm just going to question, like, maybe like how did this judgment come into play? Stryper, just came out with their brand new album
Hmm.
just a week ago, and Kerrang freaking butchered it, man. And
I saw
like,
that.
and so did someone else. I just reviewed Stryper's new album, and man, I freaking loved it, dude. I thought Michael Sweet was just uh,
I thought
his
it was good too.
his voice is incredible. How can anyone shred this? Now, if you're gonna say, oh, because it's a Christian rock metal band, and
Yeah.
rock and metal can't possibly be religious, like why not?
Right. Right.
Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
why just because it's rock and metal, why does it have to be all, violence and death and darkness and all that? Not that it all is. Not that it all is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously Stryper is a Christian rock band.
Yeah.
That's what they are. But I thought it was awesome. How anyone could find fault with this, whatever. But I digress. We're talking Chasing Light, and
But you know what? Wait. But I gotta tell you, I had Anthony from Red on, and
okay.
I don't know if you follow them, but
Yeah, I like Red.
They
Yeah.
are killer, all that stuff. Their music is so.
I love
You would
Red.
not know there's the Christian undertones in it. You almost wouldn't know it because first time I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like beating my. Yeah, I don't know if you cuss on it, but
sure.
it's beating my ass. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And get him on the phone, and the guy's seriously the nicest guy like you ever want to talk to. You know what I mean? And it's like I didn't think it was going to be like that. So no, I told him, yeah, you can mix it too. I know people get so crazy about the way. That's the thing with music. It's rock and roll, baby. You can do whatever you want to do.
Right. I know. Exactly. I don't get it. But, oh, man. Tommy, I could talk to you all day. We need to have like a part 2. We need to talk about like just movies and
Yes.
break down some other stuff. We got to have like a different podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be witnessing the beginning of something very special right here between Scotty J and Tommy Marz. This is
Love
this
it.
is this is crazy. This is some kismet going on right here, man. Oh God. But
Can I ask
all
you a
right.
question?
Yes, sir.
Can you give me 3 favorite bands top of your head?
Pink Floyd, Alice in Chains, and anything Chris Cornell has ever done.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, I can't. Wow. Salute, sir. Awesome. I love it.
Now, you just hit me with that, spur of the moment, so that's 3. That's tough. I mean, because how do you come up with a favorite 3? I have a lot of
Oh, give me
bands
2
that
more.
I
How about 2 more?
absolutely love. Oh, my Lord. See, now you got me. Now you got me stuttering, Tommy. Now you got me stuttering. But no, I mean, I love metal. I love hard rock, and that's my wheelhouse. That's Rock Titan TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Heck yeah.
but Metallica, how do you go wrong with Metallica? I mean, I
Can't.
absolutely love those guys. And you know what? I love the metal of the '80s. I love the rock and roll from the '80s. You know what? Kiss. I love Kiss, man.
Hey!
I'm Kiss Army, dude. I'm Kiss Army
Dude,
all day long. I
you see
love
this
those
shirt?
guys. So
I am like, oh,
that's fun. You know what? I wasn't even paying attention to that, to be perfectly
Yeah.
honest with you, man.
Dude,
I was getting
just
too
a
distracted.
coincidence.
I got too distracted with your sunglasses.
Yeah, I know. We're these suckers. I have them everywhere I go. Somebody sees me if I don't have them, like, hey, Tommy. I'm like, hold on. Put on my glasses. What's up, man?
Yeah. Now I got all my Kiss pop figurines. I haven't put them out on display yet on my desk, but I was hoping to talk to Ace Frehley here because Ace Frehley's got his new album that's dropping.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I want
You got to do it.
Hey man, I got the Heisman, dude.
Amen.
It is
Because-
what it is. It is
Yeah.
what it is. But maybe if Ace sees this, or any of the guys in Kiss happen to see this, Paul Stanley actually gave me a shout out one time, which was very, very cool. I thought I was going to pass out.
What?
Yeah,
When?
man.
How? What?
Well, he's an artist. Paul Stanley is a very
Yes.
accomplished artist, and
Yes, he is, yes.
I was at one of his exhibits, one of his art exhibits with Wentworth Galleries. Wentworth, I love you guys. And Allison, you know who I'm talking to right now. All you guys are absolutely amazing. Tom Curley, love you too, man. But yeah, so I was at an art exhibit for Paul Stanley, checking out all his art, and I brought him a Rock Titan t-shirt. And I was hoping to catch up with him, but he was very busy with his fans, and I get it. But so he took the Rock Titan t-shirt and he held it up. Everybody, you can see this. I put this video out on the Rock Titan podcast channel, and he goes, Rock Titan TV, best thing since ham radio. Ham radio. I'm like, what the hell is a ham radio? I don't even know. I had to look it up. But yeah.
Dude,
so that was it.
you know what? That we're like so the same like that because I feel like we freak out over those type of things, and it probably made your week. I mean, you're probably smiling for a week.
I'm smiling, dude.
I'm still smiling. I know. That's the thing. When they do this, sometimes they'll do it unexpected. I had Chris Jericho on, and he goes, I don't remember exactly what it was, but he was like, he's like, the best podcast ever. I'm telling the truth. It was like one of those like sticky things. It was really cool. But there is this. Okay, so my favorite rock movie or music movie of all time is Eddie and the Cruisers. Like, grew up on it. I know every line of 1 and 2.
All right.
So Mike Pare, he plays Eddie Wilson. So he's like, for me, it was like meeting, because Kiss is up there, for me, up there. It was like meeting Gene or Paul or Ace or Peter for Michael Pare. So anyway, so I missed his call. I missed his call. And so I go check the voicemail. I'm like, okay, he's like, hey, Tommy, it's Mike Pare. How you doing, man? And it was total Eddie Wilson. I was like, oh my, I literally recorded it, saved it, emailed it to myself. I was going to put that on my out message on my, like, I'm not even kidding you. I still pull it up. If I'm having a bad day, I will pull up that thing and say, hey, Tommy, it's Mike Pare. How you doing? It's just like.
That's funny.
So in my life, you know what? It's all good, man. That's one of the coolest.
Now, I'm surprised you whipped that movie out, because I'll tell you my favorite music-based movie, and Detroit Rock City, man.
It is so, what, man?
It's freaking hilarious, dude.
It's so good. When they beat the shit out of each other. Like, dude.
No,
it's so good.
That's got to be another show. We'll, you know what? We should have a podcast about not just a Kiss show, but like a podcast based on our favorite movies, based on like a whole, like the music theme.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah,
whether it's Eddie and the Cruisies, or Eddie and the Cruisers, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was that one? Shoot. Oh God, there's so many. I'm drawing a brain fart on it right now.
I like The Thing You Do. Have you seen The Thing You Do? Tom Hanks?
I did see it.
You don't love it? Really?
No,
Oh, I like the whole making it thing. I think it's because the first time they heard their song on the radio, and because everybody's like, how do you say it? It always goes back to you. It always goes back to me. That's how the life is. Right. And that was the same thing. When I first, I got a call, and the radio stations around here in Detroit were like, hey, one station did the big ones, the big stations. Hey, we're going to start spinning this. And then the other station was like, hey, we're putting this in rotation. And the first, I didn't hear it. People were blowing up my phone. So I'm driving one day, and it comes on. My song comes on, and this was a rock song. And it was one of those moments where I was like, I had to pull over. I was like, I was going to get in a car accident. And you're like, oh my God. Like, I never heard the song before. But it sounded different coming over the airwaves.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about that movie is the first time they hear it on the radio station.
Right on. And I just thought of the other movie that I was thinking of that I drew a brain fart on. Almost Famous.
Oh, Almost. Yeah.
So,
Be the dog.
We got to have a separate show on that. But oh man,
all
right,
yeah.
Tommy. Everyone's probably like, when are these guys gonna shut up? But seriously, so dude, Chasing Light comes out September 23rd. And so what are the plans? Do you have any specific plans on how you're going to be supporting this album release? Are you doing like virtual stuff and whatnot?
Okay, so I've been putting out a 2-minute and 20-second Twitter. I've been putting out a 2-minute, 20-second snippet every Tuesday where I take one song, talk about it, play a little bit of it. I'll be honest, I didn't know how that was going to go over, but the Tom Tourage has been, I feel like a dick saying that. I seriously, I don't mean it. If anybody's watching this, that's actually not my nature to do that. It's more of a goof now. Anyway, so they've been really supportive. They've been so much more than I ever could imagine. And it's been a while since I've put out a record. It's been a while since I've done this thing, this PR thing, because I do see this. Bands, you won't hear from them, then all of a sudden they have a record, and it's like, buy my record, listen to this song.
Of course.
This has never been my nature. And in fact, one of my manager I had, she was just like, I'd get a text like, hey, you got to post 3 times a day. I'm like, I hate it. I just don't want to do that. Like, I'd rather put a post in, quote a Chris Cornell song. I'd rather do that than say, hey, I got a record coming out. This was very hard for me, but I decided I'm going to do this to promote it. And then I just putting the link up there for pre-order, and iTunes it's one of the featured pre-orders. It's been featured, actually. I knock on wood here. Usually it's for a week, and I've been on the iTunes homepage twice as a feature when it comes out. Yeah, luckily. I'm just like, seriously, like, luckily. I never had it on pre-order, a feature, and it's been up there now for a couple weeks. Right. And because you never know with these things. They don't really tell you. It just happens or it don't happen. And so it's been up there, and I got to tell you, how do I say it? I'm very shocked and I'm just really, and I hate when people say, I'm humbled. I'm humbled because so
Right.
many people are actually pre-ordering it. And yeah, I charted on the rock chart and I had no intention. I literally was going to put this out whenever it came out and say, hey, I got a new record out today, because that's just kind of my nature. But my people were like, no, it's good. Like, we should do this. And I think the press is going to respond to this really well. And
Cool.
they are. And I'm getting a lot of stuff and I'm literally surprised and people are pre-ordering. So I'm very shocked. And it is humbling because, you want people to like what you do, but
Sure.
when they're actually getting behind it and people are, you get favorable reviews and then like you're getting some requests for interview. I'm just like, okay, I never, wow. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean it in the most humble way is thank you guys so much, because I almost can't believe it. I just hope everybody likes it when it comes out. I hope it doesn't come out and everybody's like, yeah, this is awful, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, again, we're here with Tommy Marz, and go out to his YouTube channel. Just go out to YouTube, search Tommy Marz Band, Tommy Marz, and you'll see, the videos that he has out there right now and the music that he's produced to date. So you'll have a good idea, I think, somewhat of what to expect with Chasing Light coming out September 23rd. Go check it out. And everybody, if you enjoyed this conversation with Tommy and I, which is, I gotta say, probably been different more so than maybe anything else I've ever done on Rock Titan Live to date, but that is a beautiful thing. So if you enjoyed this podcast, please go out to Rock Titan, YouTube.com/Rock Titan. That's it. And subscribe, give us a follow, give us some love, check us out on social media. Website, I'm going to be putting out a review of Chasing Light, and that is www.rocktitan.tv, not .com, not .org, .tv, and we'll have that out there. And ladies and gentlemen, I think there's a very good chance that in the future you're going to see more of Scotty J and Tommy Marz.
But, I think so too.
Yeah, man, Tommy, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Actually, it's such a pleasure. When you get to BS like this, and then, music, Kiss, rock movies,
right?
Anytime you let me know.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun, people. So again, we're here with Tommy Marz. I am Scotty J. You are watching Rock Titan Live. We're out.